The State of the Saints podcast, and this is a live edition of the State of the Saints podcast on Streamlabs. Hopefully, we can get through a show without having any hiccups. Thank you all for checking out this video, those that have checked out the video, and those that are looking at it live, and those that aren't looking at it live, thank you. I really do appreciate this. This isn't going to be a long edition of the State of the Saints tonight. I just want to talk a little bit about Saints free agency. I want to talk about the Saints free agency because I think it needs to be discussed. And I never really went into details about what I feel about the Saints players, on which ones I feel like they're going to keep, and which ones I feel like are going to be let go. I mean, it's just the way that things are. I think we all can understand that sometimes when you're dealing with free agency, when you're dealing with money, sometimes you can't keep all these players, and it's unfortunate. I mean, these are players that we ended up as Saints fans. We fell in love with these guys. We fell in love with these guys, and these guys have played some really good football for us over the years, but it looks like we're not going to be able to keep all of them. So we're going to be talking a little bit about that. And, of course, if you want to call into the show, you can dial up 504-354-0165. 504-354-0165. So if you want to talk a little bit about the Saints, you want to give some comments or anything like that, just go ahead and hit me up. But let's go ahead and get started, man. First off, I put a video out today. I answered a few questions. I think I went maybe 28 minutes on Facebook Live, and I also posted it to the YouTube channel. So if you haven't checked that out, you can check it out. I talked a little bit about Drew Brees. Someone asked me, was Drew Brees, him coming back going to hinder the New Orleans Saints when it comes to the salary cap? So I talked a little bit about that. So man, check it out. It was also I talked about Antonio Brown, Dez Bryant, so much more, man. So if you haven't checked out that video, please do. You don't have to do it immediately following this, but just get an opportunity to check it out. Tell me what you all think. Of course, comments and everything like that, I really do appreciate. Free agency. Free agency, this is a tough decision for the Saints to make. There's a few players I'm going to start off with. I'm going to start off with the usual to play this season because Drew Brees went out in week 2 against the Los Angeles Rams and messed his thumb up. He missed a couple weeks, and Teddy Bridgewater got opportunity, man, to play on some big stages and play in some big games. Thank you. Of course, he played against the Dallas Cowboys on national television, played against the Seattle Seahawks, the Chicago Bears, the Jacksonville Jaguars. And, he did a really good job. I think the last team he played against was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers before Drew Brees ended up coming back versus the Arizona Cardinals. And he did a really good job, man. And Bridgewater, put himself in some elite competition, to be honest with you, man. This is one of the reasons why we ended up losing Teddy Bridgewater. Make no mistake about it. If Teddy Bridgewater would have went out there and didn't play well or played average, like really average, basic, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking Ryan Fitzpatrick like, I don't think he would have ended up, being such a high commodity. I don't think the Saints thought that Teddy Bridgewater was going to be noticed by other teams because they knew over the years that Drew Brees never got hurt. Drew Brees always was on the field. He was always available. So with that, they just felt like, well, maybe Teddy would be the successor to Drew Brees. We wouldn't have to pay him that much because nobody really seen him. And, it's not like we have to negotiate because the only thing we can say is, well, you haven't played in so many years. Well, it kind of backfired on him because the one thing that they actually counted on, Drew Brees being healthy, it didn't work out this past season. And teams got opportunity to see Teddy Bridgewater in games, and he performed to a high level. So he's going to end up getting a whole lot of money. Somebody's going to back up the Brink truck to his house and give him a whole lot of money. And what team is that? That's a question on everyone's mind. Which team is Teddy Bridgewater going to get signed by? I'm going to be honest with you. I broke it down into 3 teams, okay? And you can have your teams and feel free to comment in the chat. But these are the 3 teams that I feel like that Teddy Bridgewater is going to end up going to. Number 1 would be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's right, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bruce Arians, who A lot of people call the quarterback whisperer. You know, he worked all those years with Peyton Manning throughout the years. You know, he also worked with Andrew Luck, and we all know about, you know, him leading the coach to the well, not Super Bowl, but the playoffs when Chuck Pagano was out with cancer. So, you know, Bruce Arians is a guy that can get a quarterback like Teddy Bridgewater and really, you know, mold him and make him a much higher quality quarterback with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is the complete opposite of what Jameis Winston is. Jameis Winston is a, you know, no risk it, no biscuit type quarterback. You know, it's been said quite a bit about him. You know, 30 touchdowns, 30 picks. I mean, we all know that he made his own 30 for 30. But here's the thing, man. Teddy Bridgewater doesn't make many mistakes. You can say whatever you want about him. You can say he's pretty pedestrian. You can call him Charlie check down, Chuck check down, whatever you want to call Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater doesn't really turn the ball over. He's not going to put the ball in harm's way. And, you know, a lot of people, you know, raise their eyebrows about him as a quarterback because of it. But one thing you can count on, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to always be in games as Teddy Bridgewater end up being a quarterback. And I think that Bruce Arians would like to have him. I mean, especially like since he's been talking really good about Teddy Bridgewater. I mean, he got an up close and personal look at Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater lit up the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, man. I think he threw like 4 touchdowns on them boys. So the way I look at it, to be honest with you, I think that Teddy B, that would be my number 1 pick. Number 2 would be the Los Angeles Chargers. The Los Angeles Chargers, they're moving into their brand new stadium. They're not going to re-sign Phillip Rivers, the lifelong Charger. He's not going to be back with the team. And this would be a good fit for Teddy Bridgewater going out to Los Angeles. A great opportunity, a great place to be. A relatively new franchise as far as that area is concerned. And he has an opportunity to kind of change the culture and make Charger football relevant in Los Angeles. I mean, we all know that the Rams are the team in Los Angeles. I mean, I guess if you want to make this thing equivalent, and I'm not talking about this season, but the Rams would be the Lakers and the Chargers would be the Clippers. You know what I'm saying? So that's the way that I look at it with that. You know, not the Lakers and the Clippers now. I mean, they pretty much neck and neck, but I'm talking about the way that teams are looked at in Los Angeles. So he can go out there and he can actually perform and really put some behinds in seats, man. So that would be my second pick. The third pick would be the New England Patriots. I can see him playing for the New England Patriots. I can see him playing for the New England Patriots. Bill Belichick, he's Bill Belichick type of quarterback. We've seen what he's done with guys like Matt Castle, Jacoby Brissett. We see him got Jimmy Garoppolo, got him paid. I think that Teddy Bridgewater can fit the New England Patriots. Once again, Bill Belichick is the type of guy who can scheme and make plays for Teddy Bridgewater to be successful. And, you know, along with the New England Patriots, they don't get what they call dumb guys. You know, they get those high Wonderlic test type guys. And you combine him with the talents of Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater can be a really good quarterback for the New England Patriots. But those are my 3 teams, man. The 3 teams, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Los Angeles Chargers, and the New England Patriots. Those are the 3 teams that I feel like would be a good fit for Teddy Bridgewater. The number 2 guy who I feel like isn't going to return to the Saints is Andrus Peat. Andrus Peat will not be with the New Orleans Saints again. Not happening, folks. He is not coming back to the New Orleans Saints, man. You can say whatever you want about Andrus Peat. You can call him soft. You can call him, a sometimer. You can call him hot and cold. Or you can just call him Andrus Peat. But at the end of the day, Andrus Peat, in the eyes of the NFL, he is known as a really good offensive lineman. And one thing about Andrus Peat that has served him very well is the fact that he has played multiple positions in the National Football League. And because of that, Andrus Peat can name his price in free agency. He can name his price, folks. The first thing is he can go out here and he can get a whole lot of money. I'm talking about a lot of money by playing the left tackle position. I can see Andrus Peat going to a team and being a left tackle. And teams will really pay him a whole lot of money to be their left tackle. I mean, we see the Laramie Tunzel. I see Invictus. I don't know if that's Invictus or well, that's Thomas, but on in the chat, he's referring to Pete staying hurt. But you look at the Houston Texans with Laramie Tunzel. Laramie Tunzel got traded from the Miami Dolphins to the Houston Texans at the beginning of the season. He'd been injured throughout the season, nicked up, but they're about to give him a really big contract in Houston. Andrus Peat can go to a team, play left tackle, and make a lot of money. Look, Andrus Peat can be a good left tackle, a very serviceable left tackle, and I think that you can pretty much name your price. So that would be, some one position. I feel the next position would be in the inside guard position, which serves its purpose. So hold on, got my son up in here. Hey man. And my son, he just crawled up into the room, man. But but anyway, the guard position. He can play the guard position. That would be the second position because it really serves him well. We know that Andrus Peat went to Stanford. Stanford was a run-first type football team. Even though he played left tackle in college, he can slide into the guard position and play that. So, and also he can play the right tackle, which I would feel like would be the third position. Okay, but the team that I feel like would be a really good fit for Andrus Peat would be the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens would be a really good landing spot for Andrus Peat. Number one, because Andrus Peat does well in run blocking. He's a really good run blocker. Okay, and you look at the Baltimore Ravens; they just got their All-Pro offensive lineman. He ended up retiring after 8 seasons, and they're looking for somebody to replace him. What better way to replace All-Pro, Pro Bowl type talent? I think his name is Xander, if I'm not mistaken. Replacing him with Andrus Peat, that would be a good spot for him, and he would thrive in that type of environment because they do a lot of running, and I think he's a better run blocker than he is pass blocker. That would be number one. Number two would be the Las Vegas Raiders. The Las Vegas Raiders would be my second pick. They're always looking for offensive line help. I think that would be a good landing spot for him. Out there with John Gruden. And also, they want to run the ball out there as well. They want to make sure that they're running the ball and playing, saying really, good complementary football, running the ball with Jacobs. And also, I think that Derek Carr, he was getting pressure quite a bit. So I think that would be a good landing spot for him. That would be number two. The number three position, or the number three team that I feel like would be a good spot for him, would be the New York Football Giants. The New York Football Giants for years have been struggling. Their offensive line has been having problems, protecting Eli Manning throughout the years, and they had trouble protecting Daniel Jones also, man. The only thing that helped Daniel Jones was the fact that, thank you, Yonder. Yeah, thank you very much. I couldn't think it. I knew it was something like that. Thank you very much, man. But anyway, the one that's retiring for the Baltimore Ravens, Yonder. But anyway, the New York Football Giants, they struggle with the offensive line. They've been doing that for years. Daniel Bott for him. Those are the top three teams that I feel like would be good fits for Andrus Peat, and I think all of them he'll try to be the left tackle. I think that he would be a good left tackle, and teams will really be happy and satisfied with him. Andrus Peat is not really that bad. Okay, he's not terrible. I've seen worse. I mean, we've seen worse in the Who Dat Nation. I think we have. We forget about we forget about some of the offensive linemen that they had, leading up to Armstead and stuff like that, man. Guys have been really terrible. So I think those are the three teams that I feel like going to end up getting Andrus Peat. Mickey Loomis said, "You ain't going to show your owner no love, TJ. I own New Orleans." Mickey Lewis here. Man, Mickey Loomis, man, thank you, man. Thank you very much for making those contracts work. For every time, your back is against the wall and dead cap money, you always seem to come through. So thank you very much, Mickey. We really do appreciate it, man. But those are the top two guys, man. I mean, we can go ahead and talk about people like Eli Apple. We can talk about A.J. Klein. We can talk about Man, we can talk about Von Bell, guys like that. But of course, I'm going to talk about those guys. But let me hold off a little bit and let me see what you all have to say, man. First off, thank you very much for checking out the video. I really do appreciate that, man. I really do appreciate that a lot. Um, let's see what y'all got to say, man. Saints need to sign another linebacker and sign an offensive tackle to replace Pete. Uh, Proud deplorable. That's a good point. I'm with you with the linebacker. I have to say I disagree with you with the offensive tackle. I think that they have an offensive tackle. They got Nick East. Nick Easton is a really good offensive lineman. You really didn't see it because he really didn't play that much because Andrus Peat was in there. I think the Saints paying him $4 million a year or something like that. I think they want him. What they need to do, Proud, is they need to try to draft an offensive lineman. Okay, somebody that can go into training camp and compete for that guard position. I'm not for just giving a guy the keys to the car. Okay, I'm just saying Nick Easton, plug him in. If a young rookie comes in, even Will Clapp, or what I'm saying, Will Clapp comes in and he performs well at the guard position, and he beats Nick Easton. Then you go out there and you put him out there. Okay, but I think you draft yourself a young offensive lineman in the NFL draft, and hopefully that guy be good enough to compete for the guard position. But I think Nick Easton is a good replacement. I mean, he does a good job. He's a smart guy. He's a Harvard grad, for God's sakes. And for the most part, man, we didn't hear that much about him. We didn't say anything about Nick Easton when he was in the game because he played so well. So I think maybe one game he struggled, but for the most part, he did a really good job. And me personally, I don't feel like the Saints should have took him out. Sorry, I think they should have kept him in. I think the chemistry was just starting to gel with Nick Easton, and then all of a sudden Andrus Peat came in after he came back for injury, and we know Sean Payton, man, he want to do things his way. DLP 2600 says Tampa Bay, Indianapolis, Jacksonville, Chargers, outside chance, Miami, and New England. I would think that you're talking about Teddy Bridgewater, looking at the chat and probably the timing of that statement. Yeah, man, I look at Indianapolis. I think that would be a good landing spot for him. Jacksonville, I'm not so sure with that because I think they want to see what Minshew got in his second year. And also, you still got Nick Foles out there, and you gave him a lot of money to come out there. So I don't think they're ready to give up on those guys just yet. But that's a good point, man. Those are some good teams that you named. I got to say that. Bruce Arians also remembers when Teddy lit up the Cardinals during the 13-3 season. Vikings almost won that game. Yeah, man. He had a really good look at Teddy Bridgewater, and I think he likes him a lot. And I think that would be a good spot for him, especially him being from Florida, man. Even though, he's from like the Miami area. Tampa down at the bottom, but that's still Florida nonetheless. Teddy is the future. So sad he will probably go, but it is what it is. We better win the Super Bowl this year. Yeah, Invictus. I think a lot of people feel like you, my friend. I think a lot of people want the Saints to win the Super Bowl. I think a lot of media people want the Saints to win the Super Bowl because, man, we're looking like the modern-day Buffalo Bills without the Super Bowl appearances. That's what we're looking like. We're looking like the best team in football that will not win a Super Bowl, and it's sad, folks. It is. It's really, really sad. Sad to see this much talent on the field. And I was looking at Good Morning Football. I was looking at a clip on YouTube of Good Morning Football, and they were talking about the Saints, and it was like they don't understand what the problem is. You got a potential NFL MVP and Drew Brees one season. He was going toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes until like week 13. You got the offensive and defensive rookie of the year. You got all pros. You got offensive players of years. And you got all these different awards and accolades and achievements, and you have absolutely nothing to show for it. That's why, I'm at the point right now, I'm not really on the awards and accolade train no more. Like if it ain't about no Super Bowls, if it ain't about hoisting the Lombardi trophy, it's pointless. We can talk about this and brag in front of our friends about how the New Orleans Saints got this and How the New Orleans Saints got more rushing yards than this, or passing yards than that, or they got more points, or they got least turnovers. But what do you have to show for it at the end of the day? What do you have to show for it? Are you still talking about that one Super Bowl that happened in '09? I'm kind of over that, folks. This team is way too good to not be winning Super Bowls, at least being contending for one. I mean, if you look at the quarterbacks that the Saints have lost to in the past 3 years, it just make your stomach turn. I mean, Jared Goff, Kirk Cousins. I mean, Case Keenum. I mean, come on, man, give me a break. Like these guys are no disrespect, but I mean these guys aren't elite. You know what I'm saying? These ain't the guys that's going to be at the elite table at the luncheon. You get what I'm saying? These aren't the guys that's going to be leading the NFL in the future. These are guys that are probably going to be hoping they lucky stars that they still playing. So it's just I don't know, man. I can understand like you lose to somebody like a Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson, but to lose to some scrubs like that, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know, man. Straight scrubs. Straight up. Like I'm not like, okay, let me break this down. Scrubs in compared to some of these other NFL elite quarterbacks, okay? But it's just sad, and it's frustrating at the same time. I can't take too many more moral victories, folks. I'm for real, man. Like y'all might see me unleash a lot this season, man, because I'm really I'm really almost at my wit's end with this close but no cigars type stuff. My guy Iceman, what's going on, man? When are we gonna hold Sean Payton accountable for him not running the football? I know we never had anyone bring success like Sean, but we can't just sit on our hands and keep letting Super Bowl slip. Man, I just talked about the Iceman T. I just talked about the Super Bowl thing, but I totally agree with you when it comes to the to Sean Payton. Sean Payton has to be held accountable, man. I'm not just the one that just be drinking the Kool-Aid. Anybody know me, man? If I'm gonna raise a guy up, I'm gonna criticize him too at the same time, man. I don't have time to be around this thing holding nobody's hand and talking about, oh man, everything is gonna be okay. Look, I'm over that. You know what I'm saying? Sean Payton understands he needs to run the football. Sean Payton needs to make sure that he's running the football at least 25 to 30 times a game, man. He has to be more patient with the running game. He has to be. There is no excuse for DeMarco Murray. I was thinking about him because I was looking at a video. But anyway, Latavius Murray. No way you're thinking about running this guy 6 times. No way you should be thinking about running this guy 10 times. No way you should be thinking about running this guy no less than 15 or 20 times a game. And Alvin Kamara, man, he gotta step it up. He gotta make sure that he's actually trying to break through guys. He gotta make sure that he's trying to make people miss. People are saying that he was hurt, he wasn't 100%. I give him the benefit of the doubt, man. For the first two seasons of his career, he played really well. Third season, and not so much. But at the end of the day, he was hurt. He was dealing with injuries. So hopefully he will rehab, be back, be better, be stronger, be more physical. So I'm looking for the Saints to be running the football this season. If they're not running the football, man, then we're going to be having the same type of problems. If they're not running the football, Sean Payton already made up in his mind that his way and the way that he's doing things now is going to win them Super Bowls. And, we shouldn't even be anywhere trying to cheer for them if they're going to keep on doing this nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Like, we shouldn't even be trying to lobby for him to continue to keep his job if he's going to keep on doing these same old things, throwing a football like this arena football somewhere. They got to run the football, and they got to play better. Yeah, and then Victor said Pac-Man. Yeah, Pac-Man bust through the door a few minutes ago. Maybe they need to put Pac-Man at running back because the way he just ran through that door, what I'm saying, I would like to see running backs run through defenders like that. Real talk. And my son, we're gonna put him at running back. TJ, what do you rank me on the list of all-time great Saints players? I've always made sure to fart at the line of scrimmage. Scott Vegeta. Scott Vegeta, man. What would I rank Scott Vegeta as one of the Saints all-time greats? Oh, man. I wouldn't put him in the top 20. I don't think he's one of the top 20 greatest Saints of all time, but he had a lot of heart, and he was a guy that was a leader. He was a guy that was, a key component to the success of the New Orleans Saints, and he was a really smart player. Wouldn't put him in my top 20, but I think that he took advantage of his time here, and I'm grateful for Scott Vegeta. Scott Vegeta, he was a tough guy. So I mean, I put him like in the outside of the 20, like the early 20s of all time great Saints, but. Nah, bruh. Nah, he ain't in the top 20. Sorry, buddy. I was so mad when we put Pete in those last two games with Easton. Yep. And we scored a touchdown. Yeah, man. I think that Andrus Peat, he came in, he kind of messed up the chemistry on the offensive line. It seemed like they were just starting to gel. They went maybe 2 or 3 games, 1 too many holding calls, hands to the face. I was feeling it, and then he come in and I don't know, it kind of changed the dynamic. DJ Austin said, "Can you answer my question from last?" DJ, what was your question, man? Let me see. DJ, let me see what your question was. DJ, type your question, man. I'm sorry, I'm not seeing it. I'm sorry, buddy. Just refresh my memory. But I'm not seeing your question right now. Hell no to Jamie Collins. He's a Patriot system linebacker. He didn't do anything in Cleveland. Brandon, I need you to think about that statement that you just read. I need you to rethink about that statement that you just typed, my friend. That I just read. Rethink this statement. You said, hell no to Jamie Collins. He's a Patriot system linebacker. He didn't do anything in Cleveland. He didn't do anything in Cleveland. Cleveland, where football players go to die. Cleveland. Come on, man. You really are judging a guy for being a football player for the Cleveland Browns. Bruh. First off, Jamie Collins did not sign with the Cleveland Browns. He was traded to the Cleveland Browns, which is like the most disrespectful. Look, that's equivalent to somebody spitting in your face. Honestly, man, the Cleveland Browns are horrible. I mean, one of the worst ran franchises in all of football. Jimmy Haslett, man, he fires more guys than the Trump administration. I mean, it is Cleveland, man. Come on, Brandon, man. Come on, you can call him a system linebacker. I mean, that's a pretty fair statement. I mean, you have a lot of system guys in New England. I mean, you got Kyle Van Noy, who played for the Lions, right? And he wasn't doing that good. Then he gets with the New England Patriots and he becomes a short tackler. You can call him a system linebacker. That's a fair assessment. But saying that a guy is not going to be that good because he didn't do anything in Cleveland? Bruh. I can name so many guys who are really good and didn't do anything in Cleveland. I mean, Odell Beckham is in Cleveland right now. What has he done? And we all know that if he goes to a team that has a really decent quarterback, he'll be out there thriving. But they're making him look like Austin Carr. Come on, man. Cleveland? No, sir. No, sir. I can't look that system linebacker guy thing. I'm with you, bro. I'm with you, B. But Cleveland, nah, that ain't happening. Saints fans, I'm keeping it 100. I chat with real people, not fake people. That comes from Jerry Poole. Let's see. Nick Easton may be a salary cap casualty. I don't know, man. He played pretty decent for him to be that. What's your call on Alvin K last year on his contract? Resign now or wait till the end of 2020? Well, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're trying to sign these guys and try to get that stuff out of the way. You don't want to be like the Dallas Cowboys who want to wait till the last minute so they can control the media. I mean, that's basically what Jerry Jones does. I mean, honestly, man, you got to give Jerry Jones some credit and give him a round of applause, man. Like, for real, the way that he just finesses the media is just unbelievable, man. The way that he can just keep his irrelevant football team relevant. It is so amazing, man, that these guys have been underachieving for 26 years, and yet still they control the media. It is amazing. It is amazing the way that he does this right now. Unbelievable. But back to your question, man. I think that the New Orleans Saints, they do need to try to get some contracts done. Try to get maybe Ryan Ramczyk and Alvin Kamara done this year. And then, probably stamping, go ahead and put that fifth-year option on Marshawn Lattimore and, try to negotiate a contract with him. But you definitely want to make sure that you try to get these guys signed. The majority of the guys that you want to be Saints for an extended amount of time, go ahead and sign them and maybe renegotiate guys that you're not too sure about a little bit later on. State of the Saints, do you think Traquan Smith could get cut next year during preseason cuts? I don't think they're ready to give up on him just yet. I do feel like they're probably going to give him one more season, and if he doesn't do anything, then they're probably going to go ahead and cut him. I think this is the deciding season for Traquan Smith. But I will say this, man, the way that Sean Payton doesn't use Traquan Smith and the way that Drew Brees doesn't throw the football to that guy, I mean, it's just amazing to me. I'm gonna just put this out there, folks, and you can say that I'm being negative Nancy here, but I find it very ironic that Traquan Smith caught touchdowns in back-to-back weeks when Teddy Bridgewater was the quarterback, and yet he went into purgatory when Drew Brees came back. I'm just gonna put that out there. I'm just gonna put it out there, folks. I'm just gonna put it out there. My question was, if Teddy Bridgewater leave and let's just say they keep Test, I guess you mean Taysom, they keep Test from hell, who do you draft a quarterback? How do you find one in free agency? What is Test from hell? Do you mean Taysom? Do you mean Taysom Hill? Well, DJ, I'm gonna just go ahead and just assume that you're referring to Taysom Hill. First off, yes, you draft a quarterback. You draft a quarterback early. That's just my opinion. I feel like the Saints need to use their first round pick on a quarterback because this is a deep draft at wide receiver. One of the best ranked wide receiver groups that have come out in the last 20 years, folks. I mean, this is some monumental stuff that we're watching right now. You can get a guy that can end up possibly being an all-pro in the 4th or the 5th round. That is how deep this draft is at wide receiver. I would draft a quarterback in the first round. If you can't get the guy that you want, maybe like a Jordan Love, then you hope that a guy like Jalen Hurts is there. Jalen Hurts has been turning a lot of heads. A lot of people have been really impressed the way that he has improved as a passer, and a lot of people are impressed with his leadership skills. So if you can't get a Jordan Love, you just cross your fingers and hope and pray and wish that you can roll up on Jalen Hurts. If you can't, then, I mean, all hope is not lost. You still got Taysom Hill, but you definitely draft a quarterback next year in the draft, okay? I don't think that you can find a quarterback for the future in the 4th rounds like the Jake Fromm's who look like absolutely hot garbage. And, Jacob Eason, a guy who has a big arm, but that's about it. A straight statue and a quarterback, the second coming of Drew Bledsoe. I don't feel like those guys are the answer. So if you can't get the guys that you want, then it's maybe just try to go in a different direction. People saying maybe stop yelling. No one can understand you. Nobody can understand me. Y'all can. When I'm yelling, it sounds distorted. Okay, my bad. Let me see. Does it sound distorted now? Does it sound distorted? Sorry, guys. If I sound distorted. Let's see. Take the microphone out your mouth. You know what I mean? I went on that classic rant and nobody heard me. Man, that sucks. I went on that classic rant and nobody heard what I said. That sucks. Let's see, man. Let's see. Is that better or is it the same? Did the mic change in any way? I still sound a bit distorted. Man, that sucks. I went on that classic rant about the Cleveland Browns and ain't nobody heard that. I'm like 10 minutes behind in comments on all my lives. Of course I am. If I'm talking, of course I'm going to be late. Of course I'm not sitting down here like watching it like this. How entertaining would this be? Okay, he said this. Okay, he said this. Well, oh well. We can hear you just sound like the mic is right next to your mouth. I don't understand why. Like I'm way back. I'm like way back away from like the microphone. Like the microphone is not like even close to my mouth. But I think that, man, I'm sorry about that, folks. I apologize about that. Like I said, I don't know. I didn't realize that I was distorted. I wish I would have. Yeah, I can see. I see now. Let's see. I can see that I'm over modulating. Let me see. Let me see if I can turn it down just a tad bit. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. I don't know why I'm so loud. I don't know. Sorry, folks. I'm just a loud guy, I guess. I'm sorry, folks. I didn't realize I was that loud, but I'm looking at these mic levels now, and it looks like I'm like, God, dog. I've been over modulating the whole time, so I know I hurt some people's ears. But yeah, man. I don't know, man. I'm always late with the comments because I'm talking. I'm talking most of the time, and I try to scroll down to try to catch up because, and the reason why I'm always late with the comments because somebody might at the top might have ended up saying something to me. Some people, probably said something to me, and I don't want to disrespect anybody, man. Y'all, it's like almost midnight my time, and it's probably like almost 11 y'all time if you're on Central Standard. So I try to make sure that I answer everyone's questions. So if I'm late and behind on some of my chats, it's because I want to make sure I get to everybody. I want to make sure I pay attention to everybody, and for the most part, I try to read everybody's comments because if you took the time out to type it up, I want to make sure that I'm giving everybody the respect. So that's the reason why. It's not, that I'm just behind because I'm just behind. It's just the fact that I want to make sure that I'm giving everybody the respect that they deserve. So if I did, if I'm late, then I apologize. But anyway, man, what the heck was I talking about? I done lost my train of thought. But anyway, the New Orleans Saints, they got some real big decisions to make. I would pay out. I think I was talking about the contracts. But, one thing about the contracts, I feel like Alvin Kamara needs to get paid. Ryan Ramczyk, those are the two guys you need to end up paying first, and then everybody else kind of fall in line. I ain't going to lie. You've been so far behind several times, I didn't have the time to keep watching. That's fine. If you can't watch live, that's cool. I don't care. If you watch live, that's fine. If you have to go back and you come back and watch the live, then that's fine too. It is really, it's really not that big of a deal. I do these shows live because you still have people that that watch the shows, but at the end, like I don't care when you watch it. I don't care if you're watching it live or you're watching it another day or you watch it a month from now. I'm just appreciative that you watch the show and take the time out. So I appreciate it. Much love. What do you think of the Buccaneers and Falcons revealing their new uniforms next month? Should we change? I think we should go back to the Mora era unis or at least make the helmets more gold. Look, I mean, I don't want anything to resemble what we used to be. I like how the Saints are kind of changing up their uniforms, and I mean, I know they used to wear the all white back in the day, but it's a little different than what the classic all white uniforms used to be. I like how they just trying to change the narrative and they trying to change the culture of the team. So I don't think that they need to go back. And honestly, man, that's just their thing. I don't have no problem with the Saints uniform, and neither does the NFL. I looked at an article that they ranked like the top uniforms in the NFL. The Saints were at the seventh best uniform, in the NFL, according to the media. So people actually like the Saints uniform. They like the Florida Leona helmet. They like the gold helmets, so they think that the Saints have some of the best uniforms in football. So I don't see a problem with it. I always think that when teams start changing up their uniforms, I think that's just a money grab because they so terrible. Um, love watching your live when I can. Appreciate your grind, man. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I appreciate everybody that check out my live. I appreciate everybody that check out my videos. I mean, I know I probably say that a lot because it's true. I mean, it's just true. Like I always say, at the end of the day, I'm just a fan. I'm just a fan that loves the game of football, like talking about the Saints and man, so many other videos y'all can look at. So, I'm always humble. I was talking to my fiance about that before I did the show. I says, humbling when you get to talk to people and, people, appreciate the show and appreciate what you do, and I appreciate y'all because y'all make the show. I appreciate the content a lot, TJ. I drive Greyhound and it gets me through my routes, man. Who that to the host. Yeah, thank you, Daniel. And be safe out there on that road, man. Be careful too, man. Being on those buses, I ain't trying to scare you, but I know they got that epidemic going on right now, and so, man, be safe out there. I appreciate you checking out the videos. Victor said, I love our uniforms, but I just don't like how we get a lighter shade of gold every decade. They're going to be white after a while. I've been seeing people trying to make the helmets black with the gold fleur-de-lis and stuff like that. People are trying to change up the Saints uniform, but I don't think you should. I think you should, get another color rush, maybe like a black color rush, but I don't think you need to just completely change it up. I think you got a lot of traditionalists in New Orleans, and they're not going to like that. Josh and Jesus, he donated $2. Thank you so much, man. I really do appreciate that. And I'm pretty sure it's about to come up. Yep. Josh donated $2. Thank you very much. Now, I really do appreciate that. Got my guy Michael Thomas out there getting a jig on. Shouts out to Mike T, man. Good classy dude, man. I like him, man. Let me see. What do you think about the safety position? Should we grab a veteran in free agency and who? Don't think that we need to grab a veteran, but I do feel like we need to draft another safety. I think that the Saints have enough depth at safety that they can get another young guy to come in. I think that you're going to see C.J. Gardner-Johnson step up. So I think that can be a good replacement for Von Bell if they don't decide to sign him back. And I think you try to draft yourself a young safety. And not to mention, man, Saquon Hampton still on the team, even though he got hurt, man. He was playing on special teams mostly, but he's still a big physical guy that you can possibly use. And I like to see how he pans out at training camp because he's a really smart player, man. He got a lot of good skills. Let me see. I love it when you grade a player. I be hyped and you say no. No, don't want him. I mean, look, most of the time when I'm talking about a player, I evaluate the team. I never just feel like a team will ever make a Super Bowl by just getting a whole bunch of free agents. I just don't. Sexy peaks are not going to get guys to the Super Bowl. I think that if by drafting players, having a good front office to get good quality guys in the building is how you get to the Super Bowl. Because you get yourself some young players, you get them on rookie deals, you're able to go out here and get one or two veteran pieces, and you go out there and you try to make a run. I don't think that you just try to stack your team full of free agents. I've seen Philadelphia try to do it. I've seen man, who else was there? I think the Dolphins tried to do it one year. It just doesn't work out. Yeah, I mean, it just does not work out. We have ashy black jerseys. Ashy black. Oh man. Ashy black uniforms. Wow, man. I actually like the black, man. I actually like the all black uniforms, man. I think they look. I think they look cool, man. Especially like when guys be wearing gold shoes with them. I think they're pretty tight. Uh, think they're going to be a player strike this year over the CBA anomaly. See, I answered your question right away, right? You say anyway, anomaly. No, I don't think there's going to be a strike because unlike contracts and negotiations in the past, when it comes to the CBA, this particular bargaining agreement actually served the purpose of 62% of the NFL players out there. Everybody is not a superstar. Everybody's not making Drew Brees type money. And I think that you have some of these guys that's probably making the bare minimum. They're going to try to re-sign. They're going to try to sign that CBA. Okay, they're going to try to sign it because that works in their favor. So I don't think there's going to be a strike. And they're trying to do everything to avoid a strike, including extending the days and which the deadline was. I think the deadline was supposed to be Thursday. They extended that to Saturday midnight. And also the salary cap. Nah, it's not the salary cap, but the man, what's that? Not the salary cap, but the franchise tag. Yeah, the franchise tag. They extended that till Monday. So they're trying to do everything in their power to try to avoid from having a strike. So I don't think that's going to happen. We gotta convince Deuce. Let me see. We gotta convince Deuce, Elias, and TJ to collab for a show. Maybe do a once a month collab show. Man, Gigatus donated $5 through the super chat. Thank you very much, Gigatus. Man, thank y'all so much, man. I really do appreciate that. I like to see. I forgot what game this is from. Oh no, it was from the Indianapolis Colts Monday Night Football game. That's when that's when Michael Thomas went off, man. And I think that was a pass interference call when he was dancing or something like that because he got a pass interference call and he still caught the ball. No, he didn't catch the ball, but he started jigging and dancing. But Gigas, thank you very much for the $5 donation. I appreciate that. As far as Josh and Jesus, man, Deuce and Elias, man, they do an outstanding job. Man, I like those guys a lot, man. I listen to them. Most of the time, I'm at the gym or something like that because, I'm at the gym, I'm working out, man. I definitely listen to them, man, and they have a lot of good insight. And hopefully one day, man, I can get to where those guys are, man. As far as like, their knowledge and everything like that, man. I really do appreciate them, and I would love to do something with them, man. I would love to, talk to them or be on their show, and talk a little bit about the Saints. I have no problem with that at all. I love all the content about the Saints, man. I love guys that do YouTube shows and videos on the New Orleans Saints, man. Iceman T, my guy Nas, you know what I'm saying? He doing his show. Dukes, man. These are guys who are passionate about the team, not afraid to give their honest opinion. And I got a lot of respect for him, man. And also, man, I forgot my boy, man. I totally forgot, but I even gave him a comment on the show. and I feel bad that I don't remember his name, but man, he does a really good job. He's a Saints fan, and so I mean, all this Saints content I love, man. You know, I want to see people thrive and be successful and do, I love that type of stuff. Let's see, looking like Snake Eyes from GI Joe. TJ is just Tess, easier to say. Okay, I say Tess. I try to say everybody. I try to say everybody name. Sometimes I butcher them. What about JP? Um, I'm not sure I know what JP is, and I don't mean that disrespectfully. I'm pretty sure I probably seen a video, um, but I'm sorry if I don't. I'm not sure who JP is. But I check him out. I definitely check him out, see who he is. Do you believe in Cameron Time at the guard position? You do outstanding job on your show. Brandon, thank you so much, man. Um, Cameron Time, I got to see a little bit more out of him. He does a good job at rotation. But to be a starter, I mean, let's wait and see. Let's see what he has to bring to training camp. Let's see what he got to bring to training camp. So, uh, right now, I want to say no. I mean, if you haven't gotten a starting job all this time, I don't know. So let's see what he got in training camp. Hmm. Let's see. NOS. Yep. Who that confessional? That's it. Who that confessional? Yeah. Who that confessional, man? Shouts out to them boys. TJ, I told a dude here in Iowa today that the Saints fan base is so loyal that the team could sell empty popsicle sticks on their merch site and they would still sell out. Yeah, that's true. That's true, man. Uh, you should start doing videos about free agency. We can pick up. Uh, you know what? I might end up doing it. I stopped with the draft picks because some of these guys did way better than I anticipated. Way better than I anticipated, and I was like, man, I got to go ahead and tear this up because if you notice, like I said, I was gonna do like more videos like about draft picks, and I started seeing these guys run 40s, and I seen these guys work out, and I'm like, oh no, no, this ain't happening. They ain't getting them. Live stream the draft. That's a good idea. I might end up doing it. I got way more time. Now. I took on a new position at the radio station. Man, I went from just being a regular radio DJ. Now I'm the producer. I'm a producer at the radio station now. So I mean, it's a great job to have, but it also frees me up to do a lot more things, and be a lot more creative and be able to do some of the things I love to do, like this show. So, um, I'm looking forward to it, man. I might end up doing it. And if I do that, I want to get some phone calls too, man. I want to hear what y'all think about some of these draft picks. You think the Saints have reached America's team status? I'll tell you right now, they got more fans in the upper Midwest than you might realize. Uh, if they have, the media's gonna do everything in their power to try to make it seem like they're not. Um, the media love talking about the NFC East teams, because they got big markets. The Saints aren't a big market, so even though they got a nice fan base and people like the New Orleans Saints, people aren't trying to give these guys credit. They too busy trying to, kiss up to Jerry Jones and the Mara family and Snyder and all them cats. They want to try to, get in good graces with those guys. And they have a lot more media out there, so they can kind of spin the narrative, especially when you got ESPN and Skip Bayless on the other channel. With the New Orleans Saints have been posting about the Saints for over a decade. He's a black dude from New Orleans. I gotta check him out, man. I gotta check him out. JP, and I'm pretty sure I've seen this guy. And I feel bad that I don't know this guy, man. I mean, the guy that I'm referring to. I mean, I even comment on the show, man. I'm gonna have his name. I'm gonna shout him out next time, man, because I enjoy his content, and I feel horrible. I don't know this guy's name. How did you get into radio? How long have you been working? on that because I've been interested in working in the radio business. Invictus, I'm gonna be honest with you. I started off. I went to Jackson State University. I majored in communications, and I minored in broadcasting, well, theater. And I took up some like broadcasting classes. Once I got out of college, I went to Texas. I moved out there. Went to Southern Methodist University, and I also like attended American Broadcasting School in my spare time as well. Didn't graduate from Southern Methodist. I went there like 1 year, and man, I just got drained from school, man. Like, to be honest with you, I was going to grad school, and I just got drained, man. And I ended up like going to broadcasting school to kind of polish my craft, and uh, I started doing podcasts. I started out with these guys named James and Joe, man. We started with this show called Real Talk No BS, and they asked me to be on a show one day. I remember like a co-host of theirs didn't show up, and they asked me will I be a part of the show. And at the time, man, I wanted to be like Charlemagne the God, man. I was that shock value type guy, just said a whole bunch of things. And one episode, I think I was talking about a girl. She was talking about chastising her kids. She don't whoop her kids and stuff like that. But I ended up like just cracking jokes and stuff like that. So they asked me to continue to do the show with them. And man, that's honestly where my podcast game started from, man. Back in 2010, that's when I started. I did my first podcast with them. And then I did a little bit independent stuff, just try to polish my craft. I mean, if you go back on YouTube to like TJ The Real, some terrible, terrible content, man. I was so green at that time. But, man, I just kept on plugging away, man. I just kept on plugging away. And I got discouraged a lot, folks. I know we supposed to be talking about sports, but I just want to tell people about if you're interested in podcasting. I got discouraged, man. I mean, I had a lot of family members, every time I was talking about doing a podcast, there was like, how much you getting paid for it? Why are you wasting your time? You ain't getting paid for it. And, that kind of stuff got to me, man. Even, a relationship at the time, man, I wasn't getting the support that I needed from the person I was with. But, I ended up finding a refound love when I moved to South Carolina, man. When I moved to South Carolina, I fell in love with broadcasting and radio all over again. And I really gave it a shot. And when I did, man, that's when everything just started falling into place. I got the job at the radio station. I was ticked off about a week one game versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the start of the State of the Saints podcast. But Invictus, if you're interested in broadcasting, man, the only thing I would say to you is, just go out there and do it, man. Go out there and do it with all the passion that you have, all the love that you have. And anything that you do in life, folks, make sure that you do it to the best of your ability. And don't listen to anybody. Don't listen to anybody because they're going to be a bunch of people, man. And, they're even going to be your family members. They're going to question why you're doing this, why you're wasting your time. But focus on what you have, man. I'm a guy who believes in God and how the Bible says, eyes have not seen, ears have not heard what God have in store for you. So when you put the work in and you put God first in your life, He gonna order your steps, man. So I mean, I'm a testimony to that. So if you want to do that, Invictus, man, make sure you do it with all you have, and don't give up. I'm sorry, man, I went on that little spiel, but I mean, it's just the truth, folks. Whatever y'all want to do in life, man, make sure that you do it to the best of your ability. I love the Saints. I mean, I don't feel like it's a coincidence that I've done like outside, projects, talking about pop culture and stuff. And I wasn't really passionate about it, man. It was about what I feel like people wanted to hear. I don't feel like it's a coincidence that one thing that I was so passionate about and the things that I love so much, worked out for me. Me being myself, not being Charlemagne the God, not trying to be the second coming of Skip Bayless, but being me, organically me. Always remember that, folks. Always remember that. Be yourself. Don't try to be like anybody else. And, don't try to copy after anybody else. And don't look at anybody, And this is the last thing I'm going to say before we get back to the sports. You ever looked at the Kentucky Derby and watched the horses race? If you notice, they have blinders on. And they got those blinders on because they can't focus on what's on the side of them. They only can focus on what's ahead. So live your life and work like that horse in the Kentucky Derby that has his blinders on. Don't look at this person over here. Don't look at this person over there. Focus on the goal and keep moving. All right, but let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about sports. Then we're going to get up out of here. I just feel like the New Orleans Saints are going to let a lot of guys go this offseason, a lot of notable names. And like I said, those guys that I just mentioned are going to be the guys that I feel like are definitely going to go. Some tough decisions I feel like is going to be with Von Bell. I don't think the Saints are going to end up re-signing Von Bell. I think if it comes down to re-signing Von Bell or David Onyemata, I'm going to go with David Onyemata because David Onyemata has really been, really a really tough physical guy when the Saints needed him to be. I think that one of the reasons why the Saints run defense is so successful is because of David Onyemata. I don't think he gets the credit that he deserves for being really good. How many years have we seen Sheldon Rankin miss extended amount of time, and David Onyemata has stepped in and replaced him, and they played really, really well. So I feel like with David Onyemata, I think you need to keep him. Von Bell, I wish him the best. I would say, he's a really good player. I think that he's going to be really beneficial to somebody's squad. Most likely, I think he's probably going to end up, if I was guessing, probably somewhere in Seattle. I can see him playing for the Seahawks. I can also see him playing for the Dolphins, and my wild card pick, I can see him going back home to Ohio and playing for the Cincinnati Bengals. I can see him playing there as well. Victus, thanks for sharing that. I've experienced the discouragement of loved ones not supporting you at all times, so I appreciate you for taking the time to tell that story. Yeah, Victus, man, thank you, man, for checking out the video and supporting. Man, you always support me, not just on here. I mean, I had a conversation with you on Instagram, So thank you. I appreciate that. I wish we could keep both Onyemata and Bell. Yeah, me too. They both are really good guys, and Von Bell really played well this past season. He even had his first NFL touchdown. I know we on football, but it tears me up for those commentators to quickly say Zion ain't got but a few years here anywhere. The media destroys small market teams. Yeah, John, I mean, that's true, man. That's just the name of the game. They putting those little nuggets in place right now because, when he does decide to leave, they want him to leave because, man, they don't want to be showing Pelican games. They don't want to see that. They don't want to see the Pelicans on a main stage. They're not trying to see that. They want Zion to make it to the NBA Finals, but they want him to do it with the Celtics, or they want him to do it with the Lakers, or even the Clippers, or the Heat. One of those big market teams that they can enjoy, going out there and talking about. They don't want to see him in New Orleans, but he's here right now. Too bad if they don't want him to be here because he's here right now. Let me see. Tom Brady says, no, I'm sorry. Victus says, unfortunately, family can be the most hurtful because they're usually the closest. Yeah, man. I don't even blame family so much, though, when it comes to you trying to pursue a dream, because I don't think family can see you outside yourself. I mean, even with and I'm not trying to say I'm big time or something, but everybody kind of refers to me as TJ or whatever, But when I go home, to my mom, I'm Timmy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm always Timmy. My cousins, I'm Timmy or Tim, or Tim or something. Is my other nickname. Like nobody pays attention to that. I don't think families can see you outside yourself sometimes. So if you have a dream or something like that, I don't think they're going to take it as serious until, maybe like other people that they don't know like start to like really understand, what you're trying to do. Oh man, this person is known for this person is known for that. Yeah, family, they're not going to see that, man. They're not going to see you outside yourself. That's just what it is. It's not their fault, man. I mean, you grew up with them, so it's hard for them to see you at anything other than what you are. As far as I'm concerned, I'm high school level compared to Drew Brees. Tom Brady, man, have some confidence in yourself, man. You done won 6 Super Bowls. Have some confidence in yourself, Tom. I mean, honestly, man, you one of the highest free agents out right now. You're like 42 years old. So come on, man. I mean, Tom Brady, I mean, you still a man, man. I'm sorry. I mean, you one of the best. If Drew Brees doesn't take the pay cut, we can't afford to keep Andrus Peat, Kamara, or Lattimore. Man, first off, I think that Drew Brees is going to take a little bit of a pay cut. Not much, but it is what it is. As far as Andrus Peat, man, y'all have to understand, man. Like everybody don't feel the same way about Andrus Peat as we do. We say that Andrus Peat not that good. We say that Andrus Peat is not, up to snuff, but somebody's going to back up the brink truck in front of that young man's house. And you're going to be like, I can't believe he got that much money. It's going to happen, folks. It's going to happen. The Saints need to get Jordan Love in the first round because I'm going to be mad if he ends up being very good. Yeah, I am too, man. But that's just the name of the game sometimes. I think that they're going to end up trying to draft a quarterback. I'm not buying that whole wide receiver in the first round. I'm not doing that. And if they do, then they're going to try to get back in the first round and get a wide receiver. If they I can see them even trying to get back in the second round, trying to get a wide receiver. But if they have a good quarterback on the board, trust and believe they're going to take that guy. That's a very good point, TJ. Family not being able to see you outside that family context. Yeah, that's true. They just don't, man. They just don't see you outside of that. But that's fine. That's fine. Honestly, man, I don't feel like the people that love you the most going to support you the way that you feel like they're going to, they should support you. How many times, I mean, honestly, how many times have we thought about starting a business and the people that you talk to, they want two things. They want a discount or they want something for free. How many times? And it be people and then they get mad at you when you don't want to give it to them for free. Now you don't understand that you're trying to build a business or you're trying to, better yourself. I don't get it, but that's just the way it is sometimes. My pastor said, "Love is what love does." Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's good advice. That's good advice by the pastor. I saw Drew got 2 years, $50 million, so $25 a year. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, that sounds about right. I want Brady to retire really badly, but unfortunately, he's going to sign with somebody. Yeah, he ain't going nowhere. He's trying to win a Super Bowl without Bill Belichick. Breeze not worth $25 million, not for a playoff choker. Man, Drew Brees still one of the best quarterbacks in the league, man. You can't just disrespect him like that. Come on now, Jamal. Come on, man. Y'all remember when Drew whooped me like I stole something in the Super like I stole something in the Superdome in 2013. That's when I knew I couldn't compare. Man, Tom Brady got low self-esteem, man. I tell you that. Wow. Dang, you think you know a guy. He won 6 Super Bowls and he still don't have any confidence. Family has been problems since the beginning of time. Remember, Cain killed Abel, his own brother. Yeah, man. I mean, jealousy is a really strong trait. A lot of people going to be jealous of the success that you have. A lot of people going to be envious of, just little small things, but at the end of the day, man, still love them at the end of the day. And, man, just try to make believers out of others. Honestly, I take more pride, and it's just the truth. And I love that sometimes I look in the chat and I see my brother. Sometimes I look in the chat, I see my mom. I love that. But I feel more proud that people like you all look at my videos and comment more so than them because y'all don't know me from a can of paint. And so y'all could choose to to rock with me or not rock with me. And for y'all to do that, like that means a little bit more. Like, don't get me wrong, I love my mom and I'm glad that she look at my videos. And my mom is not a sports fan at all. Not to she'll watch it, but listen to her talk and say that she watched my videos, it does make me proud. But to know that I just have people who just share the same passion I do and they look at the videos, like that's dope. Y'all gonna see, man, like if you're thinking about starting something and you see random people just start to buy into what you're doing or believing in your dream, it's gonna mean a lot to you because you're gonna think about like what you had to go through to get to that point. You think you know a guy. I just figured out who you remind me of. You remind me of a little of Crazy Bone. You don't look like him, but you have his vibe. He's got a fantastic radio show too now. Yeah, man, Josh. Man, I checked out Crazy Bone, man. I checked them out, man. Of course, I grew up in the early '90s, man. Of course, I knew Bone Thugs and Harmony. I'm much darker than he is, but I appreciate that, man. Thank you. I try to make the shows as inviting as I can, man. Even when I'm doing them, in a radio station or I'm on the move. Drew Brees should take a 30% network cut in 2020, like Donald Trump during his presidency. Donald Trump is a billionaire, but Drew Brees isn't. But I do understand that he needs to take a pay cut. I noticed when I started supporting people, more better things started happening in my life. Instead of hating, we should all cheer each other on. I agree with you, Aaron. That is a very good point. I'm not jealous of anybody. When I see people, and it's just the truth. When I see people like Deuce winning and Nas winning, and like your guy talking about, JP, the guy who does things, for over a decade. I mean, that makes me happy. That motivates me to want to do better. I'm a wrestling fan. A guy that I really support and like is Joe Cronin. Joe Cronin is a wrestling, podcaster, and he does like different independent pop culture topics as well. I see guys like that doing well. That gives me, the hope and motivation that I can do well too. I don't hate on anybody. I plug anybody. I want to see people winning. I want to see people successful. And I'm not just saying that, because I feel like if one person win, we all win. Especially if you have like a part in their success. I look at y'all. Y'all have a very strong, part in anything that happens with this podcast because y'all are the ones, who support me, and I appreciate that. This is nothing to do with anything, but if Breeze ran for mayor of New Orleans, he will win in a landslide. Yeah, I think he's going to end up running for public office when he retires. I mean, I think I seen a TMZ video and they asked him. He said, that's not out of the question. I can see that. And I can see him being a mayor of New Orleans. And I can see him winning. Man, come on, man. People will be coming up out the grave trying to vote for that man. Be like, man, Auntie? No, I'm just joking. I thought you was gone. Nah, I'm just kidding, man. But it'll really get that serious. Let's see. What bothers me is people who try to trip you up for no reason. They just see you, decide they don't like what you're doing, and try to get in your way from a distance. Worst kind of haters. Yeah, they got a lot of haters out here, man. A lot of people that you think are your friends and people that you think are your supporters, they really be hating on you on the low. Like, they really do, man. They really, like, and I don't understand why, man. I don't know. Maybe some people just feel like, you don't deserve the blessing that God had for you. But once again, I gotta go back to the word or a song by the Miami Mass Choir. What God has for you, it is for you. They can't take it away from you. Nobody can block your blessings. God gives us all talent. He gives us all ability. He gives us all skills. It's up to us to use them. And for us, and for those that actually take those skills and utilize them, that's God's gift to you. And no matter if a person hate on you, no matter if a person try to block that, They can't, because God has already anointed you with that gift. And he's anointed you with that gift in order for you to use. So let people hate. Let them try to destroy you, because they can't destroy you when you're blessed and highly favored and you covered with the blood, my friend. So don't even worry about it. Do teams give players under the table money? I That's a good question, AJ. If you ask me, I would have to say yeah, or they can work around it like the New England Patriots do. Um, do you all know, like, all those years that Tom Brady was taking pay cuts? Tom Brady was also like, he had like different merchandise and stuff like that that the New England Patriots end up buying, what I'm saying, a substantial amount of, what I'm saying, a huge amount of his merchandise. You know what I'm saying? Like, so they got ways around it. So you might give them $25 million, but you probably purchase maybe $10 million worth of his products. So what would that be? $25 million in NFL money, $10 million in company money, but you still pay them, right? Patriots, man, you can't. Boy, I tell you, boy, they gonna find a loophole somewhere. Uh, God didn't give me any talent or skills, at least not compared to Drew Brees. Tom Brady, you're killing me tonight, man. You're killing me, man. People hate just to try and bring somebody down to their level of life so that they feel less pathetic. It's true. Um, I don't want to call people pathetic, man. I just feel like people be going through, man. Some people, man, some people be in battles with themselves. Like, they be depressed, man. Like, a lot of people look at people happy and joyful and full of life. They'll see people like doing like these podcasts here, and they be smiling and happy, and they be like, what this person done to deserve this? And they'll probably type down below and just be vicious for absolutely no reason. I mean, people just be going through stuff, man. People be going through stuff. Like, it be personal. A lot of people be allowing stuff that they see on social media to affect their minds. You see people, winning in life. But, I mean, social media isn't real. Basically, people putting their highlights, the highest points of their life up, and you're trying to compare it to somebody highlights. You're putting your real life up against people highlights, and a lot of people let that kind of stuff affect them, and you shouldn't. That's why you have to have self love, man. That's why you got to have self esteem. You got to believe in yourself. So what you see outside, man, you look at it in a different way. You look at it like, you know, man, my time is coming. You know, let's see. Would it be worth bringing back Eli Apple on the cheap? I would actually like to see Eli Apple come back for cheap. Put him in a slot. I like that, man. I like to see Eli. I mean, he played okay until like he got injured in that Chicago Bears game. Like when he went down on his own at the later part of that game, man, y'all gotta admit, man, Eli Apple was balling before that Chicago Bears game, and then after that, it was like just went downhill. Uh, Let me see. You're absolutely right, brother. Anomaly says, "Are you talking about sports or politics? You bring you bring in your bias into this conversation." Uh, oh, man, what you talking about? Man, look, politics, man, we don't want to get on that, man. Anytime you talk about politics these days, man, it just draws a wedge, okay? Look, the election is coming up in November. Vote for who you want to vote for. Vote for the person you feel like is going to change the country and all that kind of stuff. But, man, let's just stay off that. We don't want to divide each other, man. We want to bring each other together. Anytime you start talking about politics these days, you know, that's when stuff started getting ugly. What do Democrats have to do with Drew Brees? Social media can be a real cesspool at times. Brady, you're making me feel bad for you. Where's the self-esteem? Anomaly, you're trying so hard to instigate political arguments. Man, yeah, let's leave that alone, man. Anomaly, I know, man. Look, a lot of people have a lot of things to say about politics these days. I mean, a lot of these, primaries been going on. I get it, but man, it just draws wedges between us, man. We don't want that. We don't want that type of energy. Let's see if anybody got anything else to say before we get up out of here. Because we went a little bit long. It's almost 1 o'clock my time, and I'm pretty sure my fiance is really upset with me right now. But anyway, um, the New Orleans Saints, man, they got a lot of things to think about. Some guys that it's going to be very simple decisions. The other guys, it's probably going to be some tough decisions. But I'm interested to see what the Saints are going to do in the offseason. I'm interested to see what pieces are they going to bring in to the team. They really didn't do that much in free agency last year, man. You know, just a couple pieces here. I think they felt like they had enough to make a run. I'm interested to see now that some key guys are going to end up leaving what they're going to do. You're going to have like, you know, a little bit of a turnover right here. Let's see. Everyone has their own theology and politics. It is what it is. No need to bring it here. You solid, TJ. Thank you, man. I like a wedge for from Fox Pizza. Anomaly, man. Come on here, man. Man, crazy. But they got a lot of they got a lot of things they need to work on, man. And I'm interested to see what direction they're gonna go in. Are they gonna address any positions that we're gonna be surprised about? Only time will tell. But man, I enjoy talking to y'all, man. I enjoy talking to y'all about football. I enjoy talking to y'all about life. And once again, anybody that's out here struggling and dealing with different situations, man, just know that hard times don't last, and you are enough. Okay, don't let anybody tell you any different. You are enough, man. You're enough, and you are capable of doing great things. But it starts with you knowing that you can do great things, and live your life with a fearless spirit, and everything else will fall into place for you. You know, that is the true definition of a good life. It's not about making a whole bunch of money. It's not about having the best clothes, but it's about having inner peace and doing what you love to do. So that's my final thought for you all. Please check out the State of the Saints podcast. If you have not already, subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com, search The State of the Saints podcast. Follow your truly on Twitter at SOTS Podcast 8, SOTS Podcast 8. TJ Jones _ on Instagram, TJAY Jones _ and also follow the State of the Game podcast on YouTube, youtube.com, search The State of the Game, talking about different topics that in the world of sports outside of the New Orleans Saints. So if you're interested in that type of stuff, please follow that. And also on Facebook, facebook.com, search State of the Saints and State of the Game. Till next time, all I got to say